Hello. Getting prepared for planting is an integral part of agricultural business, and we'll take a critical look at that tonight as Nigerian farmers gear up for the next farming season. It's nice to see you again on Weekend File, your weekend companion every week on the network service of the NTA. My pleasure to welcome you once more to this edition of the program. Planting involves a number of preparatory stages as you must consider planting sites, soil texture, time of the year for best plant establishment, and the handling requirements of nursery stock. Beyond all that is the method of water management practice. In Nigeria, water for agriculture is increasingly becoming scarce, perhaps due to unavailability of quality irrigation water for the majority of farmers in the rural areas. Records indicate that Nigeria has no water resources management until 1976, when 12 river basin development authorities were established and charged with resources development, utilization, and conservation. One critical part of their function is the provision of irrigation system for farmers across the nation. Majority of Nigerian farmers rely heavily on rain-fed farming system, and expert analysis indicate that different crops have different water management practices and that it takes 1.432 liters of water to produce 1 kg of rice in an irrigated low-land production system. So water requirement for all year-round farming is enormous. Another aspect of our talk tonight is flood management and preparedness of stakeholders for eventual outbreak of flooding this farming season. This is the outlook of tonight's edition of Weekend File, your weekend companion. My name is Kirian Umayo. News is ahead. A report reaching us from Gombe says the people abandoned their places of work and businesses to celebrate the return of President Muhammadu Buhari. Talatu Lamon reports.
This is the mood of Gombe residents when the news of the return of President Muhammadu Buhari broke out. While wishing him good health, the celebrants described his homecoming as an answered prayer.
I am praying Almighty God to help me to control our country. When we welcome him, he's our president, and we know he has good plans for the country.
After days of relentless prayers in mosques, churches and other public places for President Buhari's good health, the jubilant mood of Gombe explains the love people in the state have for the president. In Gombe, I am Talatu Lamon, NTA News.
And the arrival of President Muhammadu Buhari from vacation in London has elicited reactions from residents of Port Harcourt in Rivers State. Those who spoke with NTA News described the arrival as timely, as it is finally putting paid to the rumors surrounding his health condition. Kingsley Amajiri tells us more.
The arrival of President Buhari to the country, according to analysts in Port Harcourt, has put to rest the unnecessary speculations.
Now that he's back, every other insinuation and speculations, rumors about his absence is already automatically put to a stop.
It's a welcome relief, and we thank God for safe return, and we wish him all the best.
They equally advised the president not to be distracted as the nation will continue to pray for him. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
And still on the president's return, following news of the arrival of President Muhammadu Buhari back home, Bauchi town was thrown into celebration by a group of youths. Abbas Mekano completes the story.
The people, who are mostly youth, trooped to major streets of the state capital in joyful mood, chanting songs welcoming President Muhammadu Buhari back home. The jubilation rally was terminated at the governor's residence, Ramat House, Bauchi, where the governor received and addressed them. He commended the youth for their quick response to the president's return back home.
We have never doubted the fact that Mr. President will return to Nigeria hale and hearty and will continue the revolution that he has started.
In Bauchi, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
Nigerians have expressed confidence in the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, commending the president's effort at fighting corruption and other societal menace. They said this in Ibadan while reacting to news of president's return from medical vacation. Olumide Guntola reports.
Cross-section of residents of Ibadan was excited at the president's return.
All this hula baloo, speak to us, show him on film, let us see him alive. I think an end has come to it.
I am particularly grateful to God for him that he came back in one piece.
Anticipating his arrival, and now that he's back, he's in good state of mind. We pray that the Lord keeps him and strengthens him.
We believe nobody can even tackle those cabal, but he was able to go head on, and he will certainly win.
In Ibadan, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons have joined other Nigerians in expressing delight and gratitude to God on the return of President Muhammadu Buhari from medical vacation. A statement by the Federal Commissioner, Shadia Omar Farouk, said the president's return has rekindled hope and relief in Nigerians, especially those who engaged in prayers for the quick recovery of the president. She expressed confidence that the president's return will open a new vista in consolidating the gains recorded in the war against insurgency and the anti-corruption fight, and called on Nigerians to support the government and uphold prayers for peace in the country. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has joined other Nigerians in wishing President Muhammadu Buhari good health as he continues to pilot the affairs of the nation. Speaking to political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Kutu, the chairman of the PDP Board of Trustees, Senator Walid Jibril, said the entire PDP members are happy over the safe return of the president to Nigeria.
That is reasonable. He is the president of Nigeria, and by the grace of God, God gives health, gives cause death. We rejoice with our people. We rejoice, and we also, when you are happy, we rejoice with you. When you are happy, we rejoice with, we sympathize with you. We also want to congratulate his vice president for doing a very good job after he has left.
Now, Sultan Mohammed Saad Abubakar III has called on the federal government to review some of its policies meant to improve the lives of Nigerians. He was speaking when the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo paid him a courtesy visit in his palace. Shehu Mohammed Dati has the report.
Sultan Mohammed Saad Abubakar III commended the federal government for its various policies aimed at improving welfare of Nigerian masses and called for a review of some policies that have attendant consequences on the lives of the people. Sultan Saad Abubakar III assured of continued support, loyalty, and meaningful advice to the federal government for the betterment of Nigerians. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said the Buhari administration will continue to formulate policies and programs that will improve the lives of the people. He explained that the agricultural program currently being pursued by government is to ensure massive food production in the country, thereby reducing importation of foodstuff. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
Kebbi State may further raise its profile in rice production and other crops as it strengthens partnership with the federal government to boost all year-round farming in the state. Minister of Water Resources Suleiman Adamu visited the Rural Polder Project, one of the platforms for dry season farming in that state. Musbao Dan Wahab tells us about it.
In Nigeria, lick rice is fast gaining grounds as a competitive alternative to imported rice. It is the end result of a partnership between two states, Kebbi and Lagos. The initiative is described as unprecedented and a testimony of the success of federal government's Anchor Borrowers program designed to aid farmers and improve food production.
From the mistakes we have learned through the last dry season farming, the next one is certainly going to be a better yield.
In yet another step forward in boosting all year-round farming, the federal government, in partnership with the state, is invigorating the Zoro powder project. It is believed that the project will enable the state to maximize the opportunity of its vast and fertile land on the Rima River floodplain and double its yields through all year-round farming. Though hundreds of rice, wheat and other crops farmers are already benefiting from the powder project, the project still has the potential of about 10,000 hectares of irrigable land as against barely over 100 hectares of land currently being cultivated.
We produce about 200,000 metric tons of rice, but you see, including the catchment areas.
Though funding the project has been a challenge since inception in 1982, the federal government is, however, considering completing it.
They're also looking at another area, not exactly there, but still within the scheme, to develop another 250 hectares very soon. The plan is already there.
The traditional rulers of Gwandu and Argungu, Muhammad Ilyasu Basharu and Samaila Muhammad Meira, welcomed the project. From Brini Kebe, Musbal and Wahab, NC News.
With the relocation of airlines operations from Abuja to Kaduna International Airport, the Nigerian Air Force is assuring the public of safety as they travel along the Abuja-Kaduna route. Chief of Training and Operations, Air Vice Marshal Ahmed Iya, gave the assurance during an operational tour of Kaduna. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkuma was there.
The Abuja-Kaduna highway is notorious for armed robbery and kidnaps, and this is a major concern to airline operators and passengers who now have to travel to Kaduna by road or rail before flying to their destination. The Nigerian Air Force says there's nothing to worry about as the black spots along the highway are constantly patrolled and backed by area surveillance.
The patrol had been going on for over 3-4 months, about 4 months now, since the increase in the spate of kidnapping. And we've been able to substantially reduce that, including even the cattle rustling and so on that are happening along Kaduna, Abuja, and Kaduna-Birnin-Gwari roads. We've been able to substantially reduce this with the coordination with the Army land operations. So it's going to continue.
Air Vice Marshal Iya inspected some facilities and security arrangements within the airport premises manned by personnel of the Nigerian Air Force. He also inspected some projects at the NAF base Kaduna. Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
The Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, has been lauded for steps taken in the repair works on federal roads in the northeast region of the country. House of Representatives Committee on FEMA says despite operational challenges, FEMA should brace up to cover more roads. Ladi Bala reports.
Infrastructural setbacks due to activities of insurgents, said the current administration is determined to give Nigerians a better deal. The oversight visit centered on monitoring of direct labor work by FEMA on patching of potholes and overlaying of asphalt on certain portions of the roads in all the 3 states visited. Road construction awarded to some firm currently ongoing were also inspected by the committee. While briefing the members, FEMA Zonal Coordinator Northeast and all the contractors on sites identified inconsistency in release of funds and lack of availability of materials such as bitumen as major challenge hampering quick execution of projects. The committee members, who were thorough during the inspection, applauded FEMA for doing a good job on the roads and called on the private sector to take advantage of ongoing road construction and establish functional quarry to boost economic development.
The issue of so change will not accept it, whether materials are available or not. This oversight is to ensure Nigerians that the National Assembly will leave no stone unturned to make sure that Nigerian roads are in a better shape.
In Yola, Ladibala, NTA News.
The Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Khadija Bukar Abba Ibrahim, says attaining 60 years of nationhood bears eloquent testimony to the resilience and commitment and hard work of Ghana's founding fathers, past and serving leaders. The minister said this at Ghana's 60th independence anniversary celebration in Accra, Ghana. Gabriel Udu reports.
Precision, rhythm, and rhyme dictated the pace for the Independence Parade. The armed forces, the State Security Service, school children, and cultural troops performed enthusiastically to the admiration of millions of Ghanaians. Ghanaian President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo says 60 years is no time for excuses and complaints, but to fix the broken pieces and mobilize for the future.
The challenge before us is to build our economy, to generate a prosperous, progress, and dignified life for the mass of our people.
Minister of State Foreign Affairs Khadija Abba Ibrahim observed that Ghana's anti-corruption fight is in tandem with Nigeria's zero tolerance on corruption.
That is well in line with the Nigerian philosophy of anti-corruption, diversification of the economy, and working harder to sustain the country, and also to see that Nigeria and Ghana become foremost countries in the West African sub-region.
Ghana gained her independence 3 years before Nigeria, March 6, 1957, being the first English-speaking country in sub-Saharan Africa. From Accra, Ghana, Gabriel Odu, NTA News.
As part of efforts to encourage young scientists, the federal government has instituted Young Nigerian Scientists Presidential Award to facilitate teaching and learning of science-related subjects at high school level. For the 2017 award examination, students have been nominated from the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT.
Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Boneyonu, told the students that the current administration is desirous of nurturing young scientists because of the need to grow future scientists that will make Nigeria one of the scientifically and technologically developed nations.
We want to be a nation that will be respected by other countries. And the only way we can do it is if we make contributions that other countries recognize, and it is for you. You will do it. The future belongs to you.
The sense of this competition is to see to what extent can we allow our youth to buy into the science and technology programs of this country and indeed the world. This program started last year through competitions at local government levels, then to the state levels. And today we are witnessing the national finals.
Through this competition, it is essential to bring students from all over the country, at least to test their scientific ability for a better future.
Competitions like this provide breeding ground for young innovators to be pulled out to represent the country and develop our economy.
Winners of the Young Nigerian Scientists Presidential Award will be rewarded at the 2017 Science Expo in April.
Live from the scratch to stardom for late Dr. Sam Obamudia symbolized days of hard work and service to the nation and humanity. Correspondent Muhammad Abdulkadir examines the life and times of Dr. Obamudia.
I pray the Almighty God to prolong your lives so that you can have the opportunity to give service to humanity.
The enigma, Dr. Samuel Osaigbovo Ogbemudia, born in 1932, had a humble and promising beginning. He rose through the ranks in the military from 1957 and exited as a brigadier general. The history of the Nigerian Civil War, military and democratic rules in Nigeria cannot be completed without reference to him as a two-time governor.
Ogbemudia had national followership on the basis of his stewardship.
He loved Nigeria and he dutifully worked for Nigeria.
He was a very nice man.
He fought to ensure
the indivisibility of this country.
Tracking his landmark achievements as an administrator of the whole Bender State, now Edo State revealed that his name is written in gold as the builder, Palm House, Stadium, Ring Road, and University of Benin Teaching Hospital.
Everything you see on ground, is it the University of Benin, which was first Midwest Institute of Technology that turned to Uniben? Is it the first, second, and third East secular roads?
All contemporary Benin people will remember all their lives.
As military administrator in the whole Midwestern state, he established Midwestern Television, which transformed to NTA Benin. To politicians, the one-time elected governor of the old Bender State in 1983 and one-time Minister of Labor and Productivity was a role model. Late Ogbemudia, as the founding father of the modern Edo and Delta states, is described by people as a man of many parts and servant leader who lived in the midst of the people in a modest house in Benin, Edo State. Muhammad Abdel Kadri, NTA News.
Nigeria has immense natural water resources as evident in the annual heavy rainfall, large rivers, and groundwater resources. The challenge has always been ineffective and inefficient management of the resources for the benefit of the nation's increasing agrarian population. So tonight, we will examine the preparedness of stakeholders for proper planting, essential for healthy and vigorous growth of plants. This is Weekend File. Stay tuned as we take a short break now. The program returns very shortly.
This is a happy moment for me and for all Nigerians.
Amina Ali Nkeke, the first Chibok school girl to be rescued in the renewed onslaught against the Boko Haram insurgency.
Amina's rescue gives us new hope.
Federal government has formally received the 21 abducted Chibok girls.
These dear daughters of ours have seen the worst that the world has to offer. It is now time for them to experience the best that the world can do for them. Government will sustain the effort until all the remaining girls return safely.
There's a situation, everybody's speculating. They say, what have we done to deserve this constant changing? Father, Father, hear us, because we trust the failed us. They say, look to the Lord for salvation and he shall redeem you. Lord, I'm getting frustrated. Yes, I'm losing my patience. I've been waiting for so long. Because this is who we are. It's our reality. It's our reality now. This is who we are. It's our reality. It's our reality.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hello?
Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list. Starting now. Get to the door. Congratulations, you have passed the test. Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliampere battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge. Gioni M6, always in power.
Are you looking for value or you're in search of nature and splendor all in one place? Here at Chida International Hotel, we define the very essence of life. Our environment offers added value in standard, attitude, and delivery. Our facilities include the very best of everything you can imagine. From a world-class event center to Echo's restaurant, Wema Bar, Confluence Pool Bar, Pastry Lobby Shop, classy and valet services, IT center, top-notch saloon, conference and banquet facilities, modern health center, and many more. We're located at Plot 224 Solomon Lao Way, Utako District, Abuja. For more information on your highly distinguished hotel services, call 081-007-18882 and 081-007-18883. Never say value until you've experienced the exquisiteness of Chida International Hotel. Chida International Hotel, preferred by many.
The Future Assured project and its components Get Involved, initiated by the wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, is not relenting in championing the cause of Nigerian women and children. Its provision of free medical screening, educational support, and the fight against malnutrition, especially in the Northeast, has indeed informed international recognition, partnerships, and awards.
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With Future Assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Following the approval of the whistleblowers policy by the Federal Executive Council and its launch by the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, patriotic Nigerians have been making inquiries on how and where they could deliver information that could lead to the stopping or uncovering of fraud to the appropriate authority and answers to frequently asked questions. The Federal Minister of Finance has therefore dedicated a telephone line for receiving SMS, a whistleblowers portal, and an email address through which members of the public who volunteer to disclose information about a possible misconduct or violation could deliver such information for the attention of the team dedicated to process such information.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
You are still watching Weekend File on the network service of the NTA. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Now to the business of tonight. Drought, soil degradation, infertility, and changes in rain pattern due to the effects of global warming have over the years threatened food security across Africa. Though Nigeria is not among the worst hit countries by climate change, but delay and early cessation of rain remain a source of concern. In this report, our agriculture correspondent, Mustafa Bali, takes a look at food production in Nigeria and the rainy season.
Nigeria enjoys a warm tropical climate with relatively high temperature all year round, accompanied by dry and rainy seasons. The rainy season lasts from mid-March to November in the south and from May to October in the north, and the dry season that occupies the rest of the year. This provides an atmosphere suitable for the cultivation of different kinds of crops in all parts of the country. Though agriculture is mainly rain-fed and basically dependent on the vagaries of weather, especially rainfall, dry season farming also plays significant impact on the nation's food production. The rain-fed agricultural system, farmers say, is more economical even though the rainy season is being threatened by climate change due to global warming. The data of the Nigerian Meteorological Agency shows continued decrease in rainfall in Nigeria in recent times. The statistics indicate that rainfall is highest in the south, where more than 1,400 millimeters are received, while the northern areas receive less than 800 millimeters.
We must pay attention to the use of climate information, science-based climate information, build them into policy making, build them into planning programs,
build them into planning projects for government.
Hydrologists are, however, advocating full utilization of over 400 billion cubic meters of both surface and underground water available in the country to cushion the effects of reduced rainfall on agriculture.
If, as a result of climate change, the amount of rainfall is reduced, then of course that will affect the flow downstream. And invariably that will affect plant production, except if now the farmers are well informed to now plant crops that will not need too much water, So, and this is the things that we are trying to do so that the farmers, the users of water are properly informed, from time to time, so that we can make the best of this water that is available to us for all the various uses.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency is expected to release 2017 seasonal rain prediction on Tuesday next week. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Thank you, Musa, for that background report. Now, as the rainy season sets in, stakeholders in the agricultural sector in the southwest of the country have commenced necessary activities preparatory for positive yields this year. Ayomoku Ajibola completes the report.
Rainy season is the time of the year when most regions experience annual rainfall, which naturally lasts for months. As the season of planting in all parts of the country is here again, there has been abnormal rainfall pattern since the beginning of the year. Farmers in many parts of the country gear up to take advantage of the little rainfall to commence farming activities.
We have two major dams, Oyon Dam and the Ikeregot Dam. Because the rainy season is coming very soon, already in March, we're already releasing water from the Ikeregot Dam so as to have some storage capacity so that when there's excess rain much later in the deep rainy season, the dam can be able to absorb.
Hoping for more rainfall, farmers in Oyo State, according to the chairman, All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Oyo State chapter, Mr. Olumide Anyila, have started planting maize and cassava after the January rainfall. He urged government to subsidize agricultural input for them in order to boost production. Oyo State, just like many states in the country, is prone to flooding during the rainy season. A professor of developmental communication and social change, Department of Agriculture, Extension and Rural Development, University of Ibadan, Professor Mohammed Kuta Yahya, advised government on the need to take proactive steps.
As an extension professional, you communicate information to the farmers so that the farmers will be well positioned to appreciate what the problems are and what are the potential solutions. But many a times we just load the policies and programs on the farmers without even carrying them along.
Ayomiku Ajibola reporting for Weekend 5.
Though rain-fed agriculture is predominantly practiced in Benue State, many people are now resorting to dry season irrigation farming. And this is why they await the commencement of the rainy season in late April or sometime early May. Elias Itiaf reports.
Dry season farming is gradually gaining grounds, particularly in communities located along the banks of River Benue, with the cultivation of crops such as tubers, cereals and legumes through different forms of irrigation methods.
Most farmers who were hitherto not engaged in this practice find it a very good avenue of making money, at least twice a year, a departure from the usual practice of depending on rain-fed agriculture.
As a deliberate way of encouraging farming, the recent distribution of fertilizers and other inputs to farmers at subsidized rates has in no small measure boosted the practice in the state. Chairman of Fadama 3 farmers at Mu, Mr. Yombashuho, said he has not accessed the inputs but is determined to practice dry season farming from the knowledge he acquired as a retired extension worker in the State Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources.
We villagers, we are harvesting one in the year. We don't have money. What you see here, I carry my hoe with my cutlass. I doesn't bring any tractor here. Whatever because of the land, I till it by myself.
As you can see now, we're having problem of linking water from the other side to where we farm.
The problem we have had over a period of time is to the value chain.
how do we move from the primary to the secondary level of agricultural products. And in line with that is why this is coming. And that means that there will be no waste cassava in the rural area again.
In Makudi, Elias, Etiaf, and Tennis.
And thank you, Elias. Discussion segment comes up next as I host Moses Oluwatoyin Beckley, Director General, Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, who will be speaking on preparation for rainy season water resources management. Do stay with us.
Come down. Hey, see, come this blizzard. Who be that liver? Yes, I go put Oga. This is who you have blamed you. Why you dey shake now? What do they worry? Come down now. Make I put this one go. Your money to pay for this one, so I don't pay already now. Eh? See, if you pay yesterday, you know they pay today. Now free tomorrow now. Make I tell you, one like this one no be good to your support. Pretty tomorrow, it never reach here. One like you qua. Somebody that you are go pay me my money now. Now lie day everywhere. What if? You are go pay me for my money. Wait. Like pay me my money now. Yeah, calm down. Calm down. As you talk my meat, like tell me now who I go pay for this year? Who go pay for all this meat? You talk my year been
Whatever airtime or data you use, in one day you can get double the amount back tomorrow to browse, text, and talk to all networks. Free. Dial *600# today.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
It's finally here, the most anticipated sports show on live television, featuring great sports icons from ex-internationals to famed journalists and administrators. It doesn't come bigger than the Sports Parliament. Be a part of the biggest sports talk show on television to help chart a successful path for Nigerian sports. 11 p.m. to midnight on Thursday on the NTA. Sports Parliament, where the eggheads converge.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
My guest tonight is the Director General, Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, Moses Oluwatoyin Beckley. You're welcome to Week and File.
Thank you very much for having me.
Now, in the light of the new farming season, what are your expectations of farmers at this preparatory stage?
Well, whatever the NIMET, that is the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, will be coming out with, something is very clear, that there is a time when to expect the rains. And for that reason, I expect the farmers, for example, to start clearing their farms, in expectation of the rains to come. And depending on what NIMET will come out with, whether to say, well, we'll be expecting maybe delayed or less quantity of rain, well, that should also further inform the farmers. For example, if they are saying that, well, we are not going to get so much rain perhaps in the next few months, then that should inform the farmers to look for crops that would not need too much water. And if the reverse is the case, then of course it means that they should look for crops that would need much water. So that is where these predictions come in very handy. And so it is important that the farmers and water users should look out for these predictions by already mandated authorities or agencies of government.
Are you sure that farmers are now beginning to hack into scientific findings so before they can take to their usual or traditional way of farming. But that's just by the way. Now, inadequate provision of irrigation water for farmers has been blamed for poor harvest in some parts of the country. What's in your view can be done to ensure that we have well articulated and improved irrigation system in this country?
Thank you very much. I think we owe the federal government a lot of gratitude for establishing the River Basin Development Authorities through the Federal Ministry of Water Resources. And I'm delighted that my present Honorable Minister, that is Engineer Suleiman Adamu, has taken the bull by the horn by ensuring that the River Basin Development Authorities are repositioned so that they can revitalize or reinvigorate the farming practice because indeed we have so much land for farming, and before now, many years before now, the River Basin Development Authorities were into agriculture, and that helped a great deal. But somewhere along the line, there was this policy somersault, and so that was jettisoned. But thankfully, the present Honorable Minister of Water Resources has now decided to make sure that, one, we have the round pegs in the round holes. In other words, ensuring that the right caliber of people steer the ship of the River Basin Development Authorities with the new mandate now to go back to agriculture. Now, what I expect invariably is that all the irrigation schemes will be revived, and that will help food production and food security in the country.
Yeah, it really is indeed good you brought it up. But the issue of a River Basin Development Authority is established since 1976, 12 of them. And you know that between then and now, of course, this critical aspect of agricultural business, the impact has not really been well felt by Nigerians over the years. Now you said it's now being invigorated by the new minister. Yes, he was at Adani sometime last week in Enugu State, Adani of Ada rice fame, which has fallen long time ago. Right. And I saw him talking about how to also revive Ada rice and other such projects under a river basin that has been dysfunctional over the years. Now, what are the assurances that these river basin authorities are really going to be reinvigorated, and that there are, you have new blood now being injected in those authorities? Because without the river basin, we can't be talking about proper or adequate water resources management.
Now, one thing that is very important is the policy that is existing. Now, if the policy is not right, then of course that sector will not be driven properly. As I said earlier, because the policy to embark on agricultural practices was jettisoned, and so there was no drive, no focus on agriculture, as it were. But now that policy has been revived, and for that reason, the authorities of the river basins now see that as their mandate to pursue. And so we expect a new dawn.
Okay, well, if you say so. Now, Nigeria has huge water resources, yet its management seems inadequate, and that's responsible for insufficient water supply, both for domestic use and, of course, agricultural use. See, we need to find a way to exit from this old feeling of not getting things right all the time. And now we're talking about diversification of source of revenue, for the country. And of course, agriculture is key here. Not just agriculture, but of course, science and technology that will drive it. Now, in this connection, what is responsible for mismanagement of water resources?
Well, I think education is very key. Enlightenment is very important. Here in this place, in spite of the enormous resources of water that we have, you'll agree with me that the people are wasteful. And to that extent, we do not manage this resource that we have very properly. You need to see where sometimes taps are open on end and water is being wasted. And then, of course, in many ways that we use this water and just without, you need to go to Israel and see how water is being managed very, very seriously, to the extent that if you are using water running from the tap, once you take your hands out, the thing stops automatically. So that is to tell you that water is properly managed there. Thankfully, in our environment now, we have such automated taps, which of course control the use of water. Now, I want to say that people need to understand that this water that is in abundance is finite. You understand? No thanks to, of course, climate change and increasing population. And to that extent, I expect that people should try to see that they manage the resource properly. Of course, if you are made to pay for water and to pay as you use, like in the case of power, then I think people exactly. So, because ultimately, we must put in place mechanisms to ensure that we preserve the water resource that we have.
All right. Now, what is your advice to farmers considering the issue of flood? As a matter of fact, you rightly said that NIMET is yet to come up with rainfall predictions for this year. This is not late in the day, because farmers are not prepared. They don't know what to prepare for, So what would be your advice to them?
Well, very hopefully, I think NIMET will be coming out before the end of the month. That is well before the rains come in. With that, of course, the farmers and the users of water would have been informed as to what to expect, during this rainy season. However, I think people too should begin to just carefully see how they can put this resource to maximum use without being wasteful. So I think soon and very soon we'll get to know what to expect.
Will be. But let me ask this question as somebody from the Hydrological Services Agency. Now, is there any possibility of conserving flood and making use of it much later? Is there any possibility of doing that? Is there any technology that could enable us, when flood comes, to find a way to also manage flood to make it useful?
Well, we've been saying this over and over again, realizing that, one, the main source of this water is the rainwater, and that when it comes, of course, it feeds into the surface water, right, and also infiltrates into the groundwater aquifer system. And we also realize that this water, the rain would not go indefinitely, right? And so to that extent, we should, as it has been the practice in time past, where rain is harvested, harnessed into underground tanks, for example, and into large reservoirs, where you will need so much money, as is the case when you want to construct a dam. And thankfully, of course, the government has already constructed some massive dams in the country, which help to accommodate this water and to control its flow downstream. And the government is also planning to construct more dams so that this water can better be managed, so that at the end of the day, we don't have so much of it escaping into the Atlantic Ocean.
All right, Moses Oluwatoyin Beckley, thank you for coming to this program.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, I have been speaking with Moses Oluwatoyin Beckley. He is the Director General of Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, speaking to us on Weekend File. And now for our final break on NTA Weekend File, we will return with sports and, of course, tomorrow's weather update. Stay with us.
Do you crave class? Do you have taste? And do you care about comfort? If you do, Then, for your next event, a stay away from home, a business trip, or a holiday, visit Jade's Hotel at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja. Check out our world-class services, exquisite suites, restaurant and bar, gymnasium, spa and grills, and our outdoor catering services and cuisines. At Jade's, it can only be better. For bookings and reservations, visit us today at 24 Undola Crescent, Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, or visit www.jadeshotels.com. Our email address is info@jadeshotels.com.
You can also call us on 09291-9321 or 0810-909-7956.
Jade's Hotels, welcome to life.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC impacts upon everything we do, including water we drink, the food we eat. They are important organs to the development of this country. And everybody should come out and join them and support them and help them to achieve the greatest benefits and success that they need to record.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Now, the third Junior Open Tennis Championship, a platform to grow the next generation of junior tennis players, has ended in Lagos. The foundation of women football lies at the grassroots. This was the remark made at the final of the Eco Women Football Tournament. Details of these and more on Sports Update with Adiola Mokibe.